Hi everyone and welcome. Boy, is it good to have you here with me. I'm doing something for me a little unusual. I'm making Mega Moisture in the spring. This is generally a soap that I make in winter time because it has lots of rich butters and of course luscious golden lanolin, as well as some very rich and nourishing oils in it. And during the winter, when our skin is dry and windblown and all that forced air in our homes, and probably the after effects of a lot of time spent indoors or outdoors for that matter, our skin really needs all the help it can get. And a soap that doesn't dry the skin out and acts more as a body butter bar rather than a harsh soap is much easier. Anyway, where am I going with this? Well, here in Texas anyway, it's already warming up. It's going to be in the 80s this week. And one of the things that I realized being outdoors as the weather is changing is that of course the sun, when we're having a lot of wind this year, is just as harsh and drying as those cold winters sometimes. And I had a customer actually reach out to me and ask if I could make these, because she stated that she likes using them even throughout the year because her skin gets dry, irritated, and actually her husband likes using it for his eczema. Now, I'm not suggesting that any soap is going to help with eczema or any kind of other skin condition. Soap is just for cleansing. But on that same token, like I said, this is a soap. It will cleanse you, but for all intents and purposes, it's more like a beauty bar because it's going to be much more creamy and conditioning than it is cleansing. Not that it doesn't do cleansing as well, but it just is a really good soap for that type of skin or condition. So anyway, for those reasons, I decided, you know what? Just because the weather outside is warming doesn't mean I can't remake my Mega Moisture bars. And so that is what I'm doing. So I hope that long explanation for just making soap made sense. But whatever the reason, I'm glad you're here with me. So right now I'm just slow melting these down, like I said. So what's in here? I have my cocoa butter, mango butter, and kokum butter. There is coconut oil, shea butter, lanolin, and that's all as far as right now. So I'm going to melt these down before I add my liquid oils to this, which will be the olive oil, golden jojoba oil, and almond oil, and castor oil. All right, so I'm going to get these melted down and then we'll get this put together. All right, so we've got our goat milk solution ready here. We have our goat milk, some colloidal oats, and a bit of kale and clay, and it's all ready to go here. Now, I'm going to be separating out some of this and coloring it, and I'm going to use a colorant that I've never used in a soap. But I decided this year, last year I had a good crop of beets, and I dried my golden beets and then ground them into a fine powder. And what I'm going to try to do is use it as a colorant. I have no idea if that golden color will stay. I'm actually going to play it down a little bit with a little bit of titanium dioxide because I want just a pale sort of a yellow color swirl in this. It's spring, so I didn't want to go with anything too mustardy, just in case the color does not fade the way I hope that it will. All right, so anyway, that being said, I am going to go ahead and get started here, getting these combined. All right. So let's go ahead and add in our goat milk solution. Yeah, my bucket is really full. I did cut it back about 10 ounces though, so that it's not right up to the very tippy top and spilling over, which was a problem when I did it before, is that I had it a little way too full. So that does affect how much actually goes in the mold too, but until I get a bigger stainless steel bucket. This is one of my own milk buckets for the goats. This is one of the largest that I have. It's 5 gallons, but I'm going to have to move up to the next bigger size because for making these great big batches of soap, like this is 24 pounds of soap, this just doesn't quite cut it. All right, let's go ahead and get this blended together, and then we'll separate out some and color it. Here we go. Just trying to get it slightly emulsified. I don't want to get it too blended yet because I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna separate some out. So I'm just gonna go right back to this bucket here. I think that's about good. Now I'm going to add in some of my golden beet powder. I'm not sure just how much to use because I've not done this before. If it looks too dark, I will add in some TD, which I think I'll do anyway, but oh, that looks very, very mustardy, so TD definitely. Now, I'm going to just give this a little bit of a swirl here with the So I'm going to be using my big 24-pound Winston and Walter mold. Sorry, blanked out for a moment. I did go ahead and brand it with my Soapy Oaks. I lasered in my logo onto it, and the way I look at these sort of things is I've had a couple of my videos where people have clipped parts of them out and not given me credit. So I try to put my name on as many things as I can, on my buckets, on my whatever I can. And it's just so if they do take part of the video or something, hopefully it's got one of my logos in it. I hope that makes sense. All right. All right. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so it did indeed lighten, which I'm very happy about. That's much more the color that I was hoping for. More of a light, sort of a pastel yellow. That's terrific. All right, so I think they are a lot more mustardy. I keep using that word, I know, which it's not really a word, but I was really hoping for a lighter color, but this is what we get. So I'm just going to go with it, and I'm hoping that as they cure that they do get lighter. I love the color. It's just not what I was going for. But I'm also very happy that the golden beets give such lovely color. Again, I don't know what kind of holding power they're going to have over time, but it's exciting to try something new and see what we come up with. Oh, these have some fun swirls in them. It's, you know, I know that the color is very faint. I mean, the variation is very faint. But again, I think as these cure, the color will become more pronounced. The lighter colors, I'm hoping. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I'm going to use this again. I will use the golden beets again. I'm going to play with it a bit and see if I can come up with a different variation. But a lot's going to depend on how these cure. Okay, so over time, I'd like to see what color it becomes. If this is the color it's going to stay, well, then that gives me an idea of how to use it. If it lightens, well, that also gives me an idea. So what I need to do or not do going forward. But I'm quite pleased that it does give such vivid color. I just thought that by adding the TD into it that I would get, you know, a little more variation or a little more lightness of color, but I'm afraid to think of what would have happened had I used no TD. Or maybe I just used far too much of the root. So, maybe using less. I did use a big bunch because we're doing a lot of soap here, 24 pounds of soap, but I think I could be a little more conservative with the amount that I use and still get a nice color. But yeah, so I hope this finds you all doing well, that the world is treating you as well as you deserve to be treated. I'm doing well. Sales are going well. The things here on the farm are going well. Matter of fact, we'll be following this up with another video that I've been working on, where just a walk around the property, me, the dogs, the cats. That's always important for me to get out and stretch myself out into the ether and relax a bit with nature. And I truly do love living here most of the time, and there is a lot to be said for a quiet life, but I will tell you that it's not always so quiet. I've mentioned to some of you, or maybe I showed some video of it, there's an orphan peacock that found me. Oop, I just dropped one. And banged it pretty good. So that's a keeper. But anyway, this orphan peacock found me here. He comes here to the property. He eats with the turkeys and the chickens and the guinea fowl and the other animals. Here he's quite peacocky, meaning that he's got his own personality, and sometimes he's a little shy, but the downfall is he has a big mouth, and if you aren't familiar with how a peacock sounds, well, you'll hear it in the video that I'm going to be doing. They can be quite loud. Some people state that they sound like a woman screaming. That's not how it sounds to me at all. I don't know where people get that idea. But they do have a very high-pitched scream that is pretty awful. And it's the way, I think it's how they communicate with each other, but it can be a little grating after a while, especially when they don't get answers from another peacock, and there's not another peacock here. So anyway, I'm rambling, but hope you enjoyed this, everyone. I had a lot of fun putting this one together. Mega Moisture has always been one of my most popular ones, and generally I just leave it kind of plain. And I decided this one I just wanted to add a little bit of something different to, so there's the color. There's no fragrance in this. This is one of the fragrance-free formulas that I make. And I think that there are a lot of people out there who do have aversions or have conditions that make it difficult for them to be around fragrances. So I do always like to offer some fragrance-free alternatives. And as I stated, this is more of a beauty bar. So I don't know that a fragrance is necessary in that, although I am working on some other very highly fragranced ones. I did mention in another video that I'm going to be doing a video on the fragrances and the staying power of different fragrances, and in soap, and I am working on that, so I haven't forgotten. It's not something I put on the back burner. I just have several other things I'm working on at the same time, trying to get my soaps made, I had to reworking on some tinctures, out collecting botanicals. Matter of fact, I've got some of that in the video that I'm working on that I'll be uploading. Go out collecting. Oh, the comfrey is coming up. There are several herbs, wild herbs and botanicals that are coming up now. The all sorts of wonderful things. The yarrow is just doing beautifully right now. I couldn't be more pleased. Why won't this come up? What am I doing? Pulling the wrong spot. No wonder. But it is so much fun to go out and be in nature and just spend some time just being in it all. And if you get that opportunity, I hope that you'll take it too. I do think it's important for us all to get back to where we come from, because we all do come from nature. So I want to thank you all for coming and visiting with me. I've really enjoyed having you here. I hope to see you back soon. Do check back often. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you'll consider that. You may want to hit that notification bell. I do try to do 1 or 2 videos a week, but they can be sporadic sometimes. So if you hit that notification bell, you can be sure of knowing when a new video is released. Right? So take care, everyone. Hey, if you haven't tried working with golden beets, you might want to give it a try. So far, I'm quite impressed. All right? So take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.